Are you considering moving to Gateway in Fort Myers? Let me tell you about the biggest mistake I see buyers make. They fall in love with the house, get excited about the lifestyle, but focus only on the purchase price. It's an easy trap, but it can lead to some serious sticker shock later. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. I'm breaking down the real cost of living in Gateway, the taxes, HOA fees, insurance, and all those monthly costs most people don't think about until it's too late. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to budget like a pro for your move to Southwest Florida. Hey everyone, my name is Paul Leogrand, and I am a local real estate agent here in beautiful Southwest Florida. A big part of my job is helping people relocate to Gateway from out of state. I've learned that a successful move isn't just about finding the perfect house. It's about making sure you feel comfortable and confident in your new life. When I see buyers feeling stressed after they move, it's almost never about the house. It's because of financial surprises that pop up, the costs they didn't fully understand or plan for. My goal today is to eliminate those surprises so you could be excited about your move, not anxious. Why is this confusing for people moving from other states? Well, Florida's cost structure is just a bit different. It's not better or worse, just unique. For example, we have no state income tax, which is a huge draw, but our property tax and insurance systems can be a little bit of a maze if you're not familiar with them. Some expenses will be lower here, some higher, and others are just structured differently. That's why focusing only on the home price is misleading. It's like looking at one piece of a giant puzzle. I've seen buyers from tax or high tax states get excited about the home price and lack of income tax, but overlook things like HOA fees or flood insurance. Relocation regret rarely comes from an emotional decision. It's almost always coming from a financial surprise. So let's break it down and try to avoid that. First, let's talk about where Gateway fits into the Southwest Florida market. Gateway is generally more affordable than coastal areas of Naples, for example, but not the cheapest option in Fort Myers. It's a master plan community, and that's what you're paying for, really. The planning, the amenities, the predictability. When you buy a home in Gateway, you're not just buying square footage. You're buying into a lifestyle, into a community with parks and trails and a certain standard of upkeep. The homes here are priced with that in mind. For most relocation buyers I work with, the goal isn't to find the lowest price. The goal is to understand what life actually costs each month, so they can budget and enjoy their new life without the financial stress. All right. Let's tackle the big one, homeowners association fees, or HOAs. And this is one of the most misunderstood parts of living in a community like Gateway. Gateway does have HOA fees. What do these fees cover? Typically, they go towards maintaining the community pool, the clubhouse, landscaping of the common areas, maintaining roads and sidewalks, and long-term planning for the neighborhood. In some communities, it might even include basic cable and internet. I know some buyers have a negative view of HOAs, and trust me, I get it. Nobody likes paying extra fees. But I see just as many buyers regret not choosing a community with an HOA. They end up in a neighborhood where one person paints their house a bold color, another leaves a boat in the driveway for months, and no one maintains the common areas. So the key word here is predictability. And HOAs aren't about being the cheapest option, they're about knowing what you're signing up for. You know the neighborhood will be maintained to a certain standards, and you have a predictable monthly fee instead of risk of a huge unexpected expense. In Gateway, HOA fees range from a couple $100s a month to several hundred, depending on the neighborhood and the amenities that are included. Next up, let's talk about property taxes. As I mentioned before, Florida has no state income tax, which is a massive benefit for many people relocating here. However, we do have property taxes, and it's important to understand how they work. Your property tax bill is determined by two things: the assessed value of your home and the millage rate. Millage rate is basically the tax rate set by the county, the city, and other local authorities. Each mill is 1/10 of a cent. So for every $1,000 your property is assessed value-wise, you'll pay that much in taxes. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. The property tax the current owner is paying might not be the same property tax that you'll pay. That's because of things like homestead exemptions, which can lower an assessed value of a primary residence. When the home sells, the assessed value may be reset to the current market value, potentially resulting in a higher tax bill for the new owner. What matters most is your total tax picture. For many people moving from states with high income and property taxes, their overall tax burden in Florida is still significantly lower. But this is something you should absolutely review with a financial advisor or a tax professional. I'm a real estate agent, not a tax expert, but I can definitely help you find a resource to get you a clear picture of your specific tax situation. Insurance is another hot topic in Florida, and for good reason. We're in a coastal state, and that comes with certain risks, but preparation is key. The good news is that Gateway, as a newer planned community, has built-in advantages. Construction standards are generally higher than older communities that you're going to find in the area. Many homes were built with newer codes in mind, which may include impact-resistant windows and stronger roofs. This can make a big difference in your insurance premiums. Gateway's location, slightly inland, also has advantages. While no part of Florida is immune from storms, not being right on the coast can help lower insurance costs, especially when it comes to flood insurance. Many parts of Gateway are not in a designated flood zone, so you might not even be required to carry flood insurance, though it's always a good idea to consider it. Most frustration with insurance comes from buyers who didn't get a quote early. They wait until the last minute and then they get that surprise. My advice is to get an insurance quote as soon as you have a specific property in mind. That way, insurance becomes a known, budgeted expense instead of a last-minute shock. What about day-to-day costs? Utilities are another area people ask about. Your electric bill will likely be higher in the summer because of the air conditioning that's running. If you're moving from a colder climate, you'll save on heating in the winter. For many people, it ends up being a wash, or maybe even a little bit of a savings. Internet and water costs are generally manageable. There are a couple of major internet providers in the area, so you'll have a few options there. For daily living, things like groceries, gas, they're often on par or maybe even a bit cheaper than major metro areas in the Northeast or Midwest. Of course, this depends on your lifestyle, but most people find the daily cost of living here very reasonable. So how does Gateway stack up against some older areas in Fort Myers? Gateway often has fewer surprise costs than older unplanned neighborhoods. In some of those areas, you might find a home at a lower price, but you could be on the hook for deferred maintenance or unexpected repairs or inconsistent infrastructure. In Gateway, the planning and HOA structures are designed to prevent much of that from happening. Buyers in Gateway tend to trade a slightly higher upfront structured cost for fewer long-term surprises. For many people, especially those relocating from out of state, that's a trade they are more than willing to make for the peace of mind. So who is the Gateway cost structure really for? It's a great fit for buyers who value structure, lifestyle, and clear budgeting. If you want to know your monthly expense without surprises, Gateway is probably a good fit for you. It works well for busy professionals who don't have time for those unexpected home maintenance, for growing families who want to use their community amenities, and for retirees looking for a low maintenance lifestyle to enjoy in the Florida sunshine. If you're comfortable planning ahead and value a well-maintained community, Gateway's cost structure will likely feel very reasonable and a smart investment for your quality of life. With details on neighborhoods, HOA information, and a checklist of mistakes to avoid, I've put together a free Gateway relocation guide just for you. You can download it for free using the link in the description below. And if you're at the point where you'd rather just have a conversation, feel free to give me a call or text me at 239-266-9012. I'm happy to sit down with you either in person or virtually and help you figure out whether Gateway truly fits your lifestyle and budget. In my next video, I'll be doing a deep dive comparing Gateway in Fort Myers to other local areas like Estero and Bonita Springs, so you can see exactly how the costs and lifestyle stack up side by side. You won't want to miss that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.